almost all of my sales are driven by Facebook, by being on Facebook. And I sell
Wow.
more than ever.
In the summit, if you've been following along, we are all about social media secrets for a profitable, recession-proof business. And the whole reason why I started Solopreneurs Unite is because we are not our environment. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter what you do. For as long as you have the right strategies, the right support, the right tactics, your expertise is the key to your freedom. John is an accidental success on social media by his own admission. If you have ever thought social media is not for you, today I am about to burst your bubble and show you why you are totally wrong for thinking that.
I was on Facebook for 10 years. From 2007 to 2017.
Okay.
I never saw it as a business opportunity.
Right.
And then finally, enough of my customers found me and insisted. I started my motorcycle parts business, had a website from 2012 forward. So for 5 years, I ignored Facebook. And then finally, I began to join Facebook groups. And the groups really began to say, wait a minute, you know a lot about this. And many people that already knew me were already there.
Right.
And this began to change. And so eventually people began to ask me, how do I buy your parts? And I would say, well, here's a link to my website. And so it went back and forth. And then in time, I also became an administrator and I started my own group. And it has a couple of thousand people in it, and it sells a tremendous amount. And Facebook just made me a power administrator.
Wow.
Right. So for me, I've come the whole thing. And right now, Facebook is actually paying for my community manager certification.
Right.
So I'm taking those classes to become a certified community manager on Facebook. Me. One of the things that I think Russell has pointed out to me more than anything is that everybody has something that they're so good at.
Yes.
And it might just be cooking, or it might be how to care for a child or an animal or a plant, or maybe how to grow something. I don't know. But he says everybody has something that they're so good at naturally that if you were wealthy, you would do it for free.
Yes.
And so when I look inside myself, I realize that if I were to work with a motorcycle or to help someone work with their motorcycle, this I would do all of the time, no cost.
All day, every day.
Because I happen to enjoy doing it. And I understand the thing I like to work on the most is the electrics. And I found and discovered through Facebook that people do not like the electrics.
Yes.
So suddenly I have this specialty of that.
Right.
And so for me, working on a computer is work, where working with a motorcycle is joy. I happen to love the electrics. I have been interested in electricity since I was a little boy. And so for me, I've worked with very complicated computers. So for me, the old motorcycle seems so simple. It's so easy. So I draw pictures and diagrams and illustrations, and people love it. Even the old technicians come to me and say, how do I fix this thing with the wires? So it's something very natural and very easy for me to do, very complex for other people.
Right. So when you came on Facebook and you started joining, you had never posted about motorcycles. So then you started posting about motorcycles and then you joined the groups. I want to kind of dive into that journey of how you started posting and then you built your own group and how that has actually built up your business. What are some of the important elements that you've done, or kind of like the key things that have actually contributed to the success of the selling of your motorcycle parts today?
Well, in the middle of describing in a group, somebody, just as an example, somebody makes a post and they say, I'm having this problem with, I'm not able to fix it. I don't understand. And so I don't have anything to sell. I say nothing about that. I simply say, here's the answer. Maybe this involves a diagram or a picture.
Mhm.
Maybe it involves an excerpt from an old book,
Mhm.
or some knowledge I have or have gained. And sometimes this knowledge needs to be very specific to
Right.
that person, that individual thing. So
Right.
here I am paying attention to the individual problem. And so I help this one person solve the problem. This encourages other people to
Right.
believe, I believe if that guy could solve that problem, I am having the same problem. I believe I
Right.
could take this advice. So people that don't even want to post on a group,
Mhm.
they're very timid. They can read safely in the background. They
Mhm.
see the success of the one person using my advice. And so they develop a new skill and nobody even knows it. It's quiet.
Right.
It's very private for them. And then eventually, maybe there is like happened in my world, there is one part of the motorcycle that is deficient. It
Mhm.
was never made well to begin with. And
Mhm.
so this was frustrating to me, and all for this one part. So I come back to my shop and I create this one part, this one solution that now I can sell it. And I make a website for it and I have it over here to the side.
Right.
And in this discussion in the Facebook group, I tell this person, I have a way for you to solve this problem. Other people are buying it, not on Facebook, but
Mhm.
other people. And so I post a link to my website, and
Mhm.
the person goes over and they buy it, and I got a sale. The very first time this happened, I was amazed
Wow.
because I didn't believe it. I did not believe because I had even said to my partner who's very good with Facebook,
Right.
oh, Facebook is never going to sell. I don't, no, no, no. Facebook is where I talk to my mother and my nephews. It's not for business.
Right.
And yet it is for business.
Right.
And Facebook even wants it to be. They want to help me. But I
Right.
deny Facebook. I go, no, no, it can't be. But
Right.
once I sold one part,
Right.
then the man buys the part and he puts it in the bike, and something happened I did not expect.
Right.
This person that has now fixed his motorcycle posts a picture on the group and he writes about his success. And I got this part from Mr. Pardue and I put it on the thing and it's fixed. And now I'm able to go out. And then he begins to show all of the places where he rides his motorcycle.
Right.
And it never breaks again. And so other people began to say, well, if it fixed his bike, it must fix mine. And that's how it sort of started. And so now almost all of my sales are driven by Facebook, by being on Facebook. And I sell
Wow.
more than ever. I started a group just for the electrics, just for specific difficult motorcycles.
Right.
And I believed that maybe it would have 10 people, maybe
Right.
it would have 20 members. And
Right.
now it has over 2,000. And
Wow.
so and then there's another group I had to start just for very difficult, very strange motorcycles that they're not covered in the other groups. And so I started a group just for people asking very difficult questions.
Right.
And that group has a few hundred people in it.
Okay.
And somewhere in there, I made some very good decisions about how to make a group. And all of the content needs to be focused on the group. What is this group about? So
Right.
I keep the mission of the group in focus at all times.
Very important.
I think if nothing else is to get started. If someone in your circle of people is sitting in the chair and they are using Facebook like I did, maybe they communicate with their friends, their family, maybe they even look at what you're putting forth and they read it and they are part of your program and they learn from that and everything. That's wonderful. That's all good. But you must get started. You do not need to create a group or anything, but you need to be in the group. You need to go in the little search for Facebook at the top. You can search the groups. Just click groups and click search. And maybe you like to make cauliflower. Great. Then you can find a group, I bet you, just about cauliflower, all about it, and or eggplant, or whatever it is.
Right.
So I believe that you should go find this group, and there will probably be many, and you should join those groups and you should read, and then you will see an opportunity to communicate. Somewhere
Right.
there is a level that will appeal to your heart. You will say, that's it. I know what to say. And you should then type that out. And if you have a business in mind where you think, well, maybe I like to be a photographer, great. Then you don't necessarily need to be part of a photography group. What you need to do is get out of your chair, get your camera in your hand, and go make pictures of where you are and post your pictures. Put your heart out there where people can see it and allow them to respond. You don't need a
Right.
group for that. Just put it
No.
right on your profile, but you must get started. So I think if
Right.
there's anything, even the smallest thing, you must get started. I say I was on Facebook for 5 years, no activity, nothing. I mean, in business or any of that, no. I had the wrong idea of what Facebook is.
Yeah. Wow. And now you're here crashing it in a niche that nobody would ever even expect.
I'm so busy that I don't have the time. A lot of the things that I used to do where I was trying to get business with a
Yes.
website and
Yes.
emails and all of that, now just by participating in these groups, I have enough business that it's all I can do. So I work a lot, and I'm happy doing it because it's work I enjoy doing.
It's work that you love, work that you would do for free.
It is. I would help people and make the illustrations and writings and things. I would do this at no cost. In fact, for many years I did this at no cost. And just in case somebody there is watching this and they're saying, I don't believe any of that. Every one of you needs to understand. Do you know how many times I have been in a Zoom meeting? Just me in a Zoom meeting. One. This is it. This is the first time I've ever even sat with a camera willingly and had exchange with anybody. I don't ever get on the camera ever. Now
That's amazing.
I have thousands of customers asking me, please get on the camera, make us a video, and
Yes.
explain this electrical magic that I work with. And so if so there are customers of mine that would be blown away if they knew I was here with Mary doing an interview on the camera. They would be like, what? But the point is the context and the learning possibility. So
And the networks.
I'm honored to be here. Hopefully it helped. I hope even if one person out there hears this and sees me and says, if that guy can do it, I know I can do it. There are tips and tricks that you have in your mind. You don't even think it's valuable. You don't understand the value of what you know. Maybe there's some little small thing that you know how to do that would save a few minutes, or maybe some little trick or something that you think is nothing. Maybe your father taught you or you learned it yourself. But the point is that is valuable. And if you go on Facebook and you make a little video, or maybe just write it out or draw a little sketch or something, then some person will come along and they will search for this on Facebook. They are looking, they need the knowledge, and they will find your tip and they will use it, and then they will have a conversation. And from that conversation, you will find that there are tens of thousands of people that need the knowledge that you have. You think that everybody knows this, but they do not.
They don't.
Facebook has proven this to me. I did not believe this. What you just said, I didn't believe it. I thought there's no way I know something that everybody else doesn't already know. And this is not true. Everybody knows something. I learn every day. Look at a man like me. Do you think I can cook? Now I can cook a little bit. You think I mean, my mother could cook. And so the thing is that how do you think I learned to cook? Well, because I go and I look for how do you cook a certain thing, and I learned about this. Now I can read. I'm as good as the next person. I can read a recipe and I can make it, but the recipe has no soul.
Right.
The person that wants to show me how to do it, oh,
Right.
they
Now
just need this
that's
little
a
bit of
different ball
spice
game.
or this little thing. And it's like, oh, that's how you, or maybe just a nicer way to serve it. How,
Right.
if you make something, how, if you have people sitting at your table, how do you serve it? How would you make it look nicer? Or,
Right.
so it's, and it, maybe how do you invest your money? There must be 1 million people that know how. It isn't me. So I have to learn this from somebody.
Right.
And
Right.
most of the time we learn in silence on Facebook. I think most people get on Facebook
Mhm.
and they look for whatever knowledge they want to know, and maybe they don't participate. And if you get nothing else from me talking to Mary, get out of your shell, look right down there, get on that keyboard and type something, say something, maybe to share what you know. And you will find that there are all these people that will thumbs up. I get it. This is good. I understand. And thank you for the help.
Wow.
I believe in many categories, and every one of your listeners and viewers and members should know this.
Yeah.
You think about this is the truth. In every category, I don't care what you know about, there are people that knew things from long ago, and they learned from people from long ago, long before the computer, before the internet, maybe, and not so much on the phone. They learned at church, they learned in the community, they learned under the hood of the car, they learned in the kitchen, they learned in the farm or the garden, and they learned in business, and they were taught things the hard way. And so now we have this amazing tool called Facebook that allows us to share. We have these Zoom meetings and so forth, but we have all this technology that lets you share.
You have proven just from your journey that if you can do it, anybody can do it.
It's true. I'm telling you, I never would have believed this. I did not believe that Facebook was some sort of a business tool. I just didn't see it. And I think maybe a lot of people feel that way, like, oh, Mary, I don't have a business plan. I don't have all these things. You don't need any of that. What you need to do is be active. You need to take the thing, that the business idea that you have, and begin to talk about it. That's the thing. In real life, if you had no Facebook and no internet and no computer, how did people make a business of their own before this? Well, they went out into the community. And that is the key word, is community. You shook hands with people, and you talked to people, and you made friends with people. And in time, they would find out, oh, you are a plumber. And so you put in the pipes and make the water happen. And one day they need you, and you would get a call, and you would have business cards. And so today you have this opportunity that's wonderful. I have people that buy my parts from all over the world. I don't have any way to reach these people, but people from today, I'm going to make parts and send them to Australia. Australia is, for me, is 25,000 miles from here. It's halfway around the world. And yet I am able to talk to somebody in Australia just as we are talking. You and I are.
I mean, I'm in Kenya. I mean, really.
Right. And I'm in Florida. And yet we are able to talk and have a television interview with each other. So
yes. We are not our geography. We are not our environment. Right?
Yeah. That's exactly true. That is exactly the on point. Do not communicate at your audience. Communicate to your audience.
To your audience.
I connect with people. I had a lot of experience doing it in business because it was natural. I had to shake hands with you and talk to you, and maybe here's my card, and maybe one day we'll do business together. I had to do that normally. And I think when you are at a computer, at the computer uniquely, sometimes it is too easy to remain passive and sit back here. And then if you try to have a business online, you feel like you have to be a big company, which a big company makes a commercial that talks at you. They try to say, you should come and visit Disneyland, but it's not personal. But for me and for you, if I'm going to talk to you here, then I'm going to talk to you. I am talking to you. I am not talking at you like,
At you.
hey, you should be here. No, I'm talking to you. So do that. That'd be my parting shot.
I just want to say thank you so much. And before we wind up, before I just bid you goodbye, where can people find you? Where can they follow you to just get more of that juicy knowledge?
Well, the group, the biggest motorcycle group that I am on Facebook is Honda CT90 Owners Group.
Okay.
That's the big group.
Uh-huh.
And the group that I started that is a little smaller, that people call it the Brain Trust,
right?
Is Honda 6 Volt.
Honda 6 Volt. Okay. And you'll share those links with me so that I can share them with the audience.
I'll do that. Yeah, I'll send you those links.